If you want to stay up to date with all current hip hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. After staying quiet for a really long time, we finally got some sign from rapper NF a couple of weeks ago, or actually almost a month ago, I believe, when he announced that he was going to drop a mixtape called Clouds. And here's everything we know about it. The first time we learned about the project was on February 18th, when he dropped the title track to it, also named Clouds, of course. This song also got a music video, which I thought was really cool, and I was just happy that we finally got some, life sign from NF again after such a long time of staying quiet. Back in 2019, he released his last album, The Search, which, at some points I thought was very, very dry, and a lot of the instrumentals and flows were just reused, but it did incredibly well commercially. And I'm going to go into that problem that I have with NF a little bit later in the video too. But now let's stay on the topic of the tracks that we got on there, because we actually already got the track list and the album cover. Now, the album cover is the same as we got for the single Clouds. It is NF sitting on just, kind of a mountain of clouds in the sky, and I think it looks really cool. I like the aesthetic of it. I also think it's not like done cheaply, photoshopped or anything. It's actually, it looks good. I like this. And then with the album cover, he also dropped the track list. And this track list is comprised of basically 10 tracks. Now, these 10 tracks, 3 of them we already got, and I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But basically, we have Clouds, which, is the title track that we already got and that I thought was pretty solid. It kind of feels like an intro. It's not a track that I would see as an individual masterpiece. It's more of this is what we're going to get, But then we have That's a Joke with no feature, Just Like You, Story, Prideful, and then Lost featuring Hobson, and we actually got this song last week already. So this is also a song that, we've gotten as a single before the album drop. And the interesting thing is that this Hobson feature, you can also see a little bit later on, we have a Tech 9 feature on Trust. These are the first features on an NF song since, I believe, 2016's Grindin', where Marty was on a track. So NF has been going solo for the majority of his career and likes to keep it solo and very, tight in his selection of guest appearances. So I actually think it's a new step. It's really interesting to see him trying to expand what he does with his music on this project. But I'm going to go a little bit into that in a second too. Anyway, finishing up the track list, we also have Layers, Drifting, Trust featuring Tech 9, as I said, and Paid My Dues, which we actually already got as well back in 2020, I believe. And I like this track more than for example, Clouds. Now, one thing I gotta say about this Lost track featuring Hobson. By the way, also that one got a music video, so if you haven't yet, go check that out, because I always think that NF puts a lot of work, a lot of production value into his music videos, and I think that deserves a little bit, not more, because he's really getting, a lot of recognition for that and success, but, if you haven't yet, go check that out. I think it's really well done. But anyway, getting back to the topic of the singles that we already got, as I said, Clouds kind of served as an intro track. Paid My Dues I saw more as an individual track in a way. And the problem that I had with Lost is maybe on this track I thought, we're going to get something a little bit, more switched up, maybe a little hook here, a little hook there, some more, melodic elements in here. And I know that this is not NF's strong suit. And don't get me wrong, I've listened to all of his projects. I know what type of music he makes, but I also really like it when he experiments a little bit more, when he tries to be more dynamic and brave with his music, instead of just having 2 long verses and then a rapped hook. That's pretty much his formula for a lot of his tracks. And while that has worked for him very well in the past, as you know, on this channel I say that a lot, I think in order to really have long-term success, and I know NF is not a good example of this because he's been keeping, he's a really good artist, and he's been staying on top of his game for such a long time. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that NF is falling off, but just as I said, for an artist to be successful long term and to have a tangible influence and impact in the music world, they need to be able to evolve their own style and to always reinvent themselves. And this is, I have not seen this yet on these new tracks, and that's what I'm kind of worried about that we'll get with this new project, because NF is someone who, when you listen to him, you know what you're gonna get. As I said, he used the same formula. He most of the time used the same flows and the same cadences and all that. So when I listen to NF, I know what I'm going to get. I'm not there to, pick up some crazy Young Thug melodies and vocal performances here and there, but rather I'm going to get some bars. And he has provided that a lot of times in the past already. And my worry is that this is just what it's going to be for the rest of his career, also being continued on this mixtape. Now here's a theory I have. This is actually NF's first mixtape ever. So far he's only dropped albums or 2 EPs so far. So this is something new. This is something, with the mixtape there's not as much pressure on having all the songs be in a coherent manner and all of them working well with each other. So in this way he can kind of just let it kind of flow and not take it too serious and not having the pressure of it being considered an album. So that's why I think this is also going to be a lot of bars and a lot of stuff that he just wants to do, which of course is amazing. And I also like that he has features on here. As I said, it's kind of a historical moment in F's career to have someone featured on his tracks. But what I'm thinking is, of course, he's going to continue making music. And there is a, 4th studio album probably coming in the future too. I don't think he's just letting it slip like that. So I think that is going to be the album where we're actually going to see the musical evolution of NF, and this is kind of just a tastemaker for what's about to come in his career. So that's how I see this mixtape that we're getting, Clouds, which is releasing on March 26th. If I didn't mention that already, it's releasing March 26th, so very soon. I hope you're tuning in. Let me know what you think about the mixtape once it drops. Hit me up on social media or in the YouTube comments and all that. Link is in the description. And that's what I got to say about this. That's everything we know about Clouds, the new mixtape from NF. As I said, I'm looking forward to hearing from y'all what y'all think about this, what you expect from this, and if you've been a long time NF fan and how you're feeling about him dropping this new mixtape. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.